G'day and welcome to the trade on this Monday. Before we get into the charts, let's take a look at what traders are watching out there today. Former central banker Mark Carney has won the race to become leader of Canada's ruling Liberal Party and will succeed Justin Trudeau as Prime Minister. Carney will take over at a tumultuous time with Canada, which is in the midst of a trade war with the US and must hold a general election imminently. President Trump has declined to predict whether the US could face a recession amid stock market concerns about his tariffs, particularly in terms of Mexico, Canada, and also China. And Bitcoin, the largest cryptocurrency, has dropped by more than 5.5%, currently trading around 81,000 US dollars. And China's National Consumer Price Index in February fell into negative territory for the first time since January last year, according to data published yesterday. Let's now take a look at the charts. The matter, we're joined by Ashley Glover from CMC Markets. Ashley, welcome. Good to see you.
You too. Thanks, Andrew.
Of course, the dust having settled on reporting season.
Yep.
What was your general takeout from what we saw?
It's hard to sort of pinpoint anything on reporting season. It was just ugly for Australia in general. You look at last week and anything Australian was just horrible. Aussie dollar obliterated, Aussie 200 obliterated. I think it's a much more global theme that we're seeing at the moment as opposed to anything, I suppose, Australian-centric. So, yeah, I think Australia, unfortunately, this time around sort of maybe missed a bit of the spotlight given everything else that's going on globally.
Well, let's take a closer look then at some of the stocks that you're focused on at the moment, some of the bigger ones on the index, beginning with the largest telco in Telstra. What are you seeing here?
Yeah, so have a look at the charts here. As we know, it's been a bit of a bloodbath in Australian markets over the last week or so. So trying to see some charts here that are coming into interesting territory. So if we look at this Telstra chart here, we can see we've popped through that longer term resistance that was been in place for quite some time. I think I flagged this stock many months ago, and that first test of the resistance, saying where do we go from here? And we sort of, couldn't punch through it. We've finally come through there, which is good to see. So on the backdrop of negative markets, to see this stock actually coming through resistance actually signals quite a bit of strength there. So what I'm looking for now, as you can see by those arrows, is what do we do now that we've gone through resistance? Do we retest that and then go off to new highs again? Or do we follow back through to that trend line? But given the fact that we're seeing Telstra at highs with a downturn in markets, it proves to be a bit of strength there. So I'm looking to see hopefully Telstra go back up to that white line there, the resistance level up there, which is the previous high. And hopefully we don't see that trend line retested, but we make our way to new highs there.
All right, potential opportunity there in Telstra. Let's now head into the resources sector with one of the largest in Rio Tinto. Very much trading in a range over the past 12 months. In fact, it hasn't really gone anywhere.
No, that's right, exactly. Yeah, Rio is a bit of a weird one when we look at the chart. But again, coming back into some potential areas where traders and investors could be trying to find some value here. So as you rightly said, it's quite a range there. But we have seen a few bounces off this longer term upward trend line. And if we look at the MACD below as well, we can see that's also trending upwards. And with the lax returns we're seeing in markets at the moment, these downturns, we're starting to see these stocks coming back in line with their, the support levels, you could say, over the longer term. So again, for Rio, I'm looking at that same thing. You can see there's two purple boxes that I've drawn there. I'm looking to see if price does come and actually retest those support areas and then see if we bounce higher. So for traders and investors, again, those levels are the key areas I'm looking at. We'll be looking to see what price action dictates from those areas. Hopefully for longer term holders or people looking to get some value, we do see a bounce off there. But I guess time will tell on these ones.
All right, and finally, let's head into the banks. Now, of course, they have defied all expectations, haven't they? However, when we take a look at the largest being CBA, has it finally turned? Because, of course, reflecting, I guess, what we saw in the broader market too, with a significant sell-off.
That's it, exactly. CBA is a really weird one here, technically, if you look at it. You can see, again, that white line, that long-term upward trend line has been intact for quite some time. But we have seen price finally go through that. So that's the first warning sign when it comes to CBA. But then just underneath that, we do have a support level. That's the purple box that I've drawn there. So very interesting time for CBA. It's what does price action do now? Hopefully, we see that purple box, that support level hold, and we see maybe a bounce back up to that underside of the upward trend line. But again, this is where it's an interesting time for traders, because once support or resistance does break, we generally see a retest of that before the move continues. So for anyone holding CBA or looking to get into CBA, I guess now's a time to be really, I suppose, focused on price action, what it's going to tell you, because look at the MACD down the bottom, very, very weak. Price action showing that as well. But historically, we're starting to see some support levels coming in. So for both traders and investors alike, it's a pretty interesting time. But yeah, I'd be looking to see if that purple box holds, and hopefully we can see a move upwards again.
Well, I mean, it tends to be a bellwether, I guess, for the entire index, given it is the largest stock.
That's right, exactly, yeah. So hopefully if we see some strength in the Aussie 200 again, like we saw a big lot of strength come in on Friday night. Seems to have evaporated again this morning on the open, but I guess, it's really early days in terms of what indexes are saying at the moment, with only, not even the Asian markets open yet. So we'll see. But, if we do see a bounce in the major index, then hopefully look to see that CBA and all those major stocks as well, get some strength there as well.
Ashley, thanks for joining us from CMC Markets.
Thanks, Andrew.